In tonight's Government Insider, making your federal agency one of the best places to work. Last week, we highlighted the results of an annual study by the Partnership for Public Service and Deloitte. They combed through reams of data in the Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey for a ranking of the best and worst agencies for employee satisfaction. Now, agencies know where they stand. It's time to improve. For more, I'm joined by Tom Fox with the Partnership for Public Service. He's our federal coach and writes a blog called On Leadership for the Washington Post. Tom, bring us up to date. Generally speaking, how did federal employee satisfaction fare in 2015?
Well, we saw for the first time in 4 years an increase in employee engagement across the federal government. Some agencies improved more than others, but it's the first time in a long time where we've seen employees actually report that they're feeling more engaged.
Now, in your column, you write that some agency leaders routinely make an effort to explain away poor results. Explain that.
Yeah, so typically I found that over the course of the years, there's one of a few reactions to the data once it's reported. And one of them is to explain away the data. Leaders who are eager to avoid taking action will either say that the response rates are too low, that only the most disgruntled employees actually respond to the survey, or perhaps that they can just wait out the actions of this administration. And that sort of action, frankly, misses a larger trend that's in play here, and that is to say that not only in the federal government are the most high-performing agencies taking note of employee engagement, but so are the most high-performing private sector organizations as well. Those who really perform at the top levels make sure that they use employee engagement as a key indicator of their organizational performance, and if they're not doing well, we'll work hard to do better, and if they're doing well, we'll work even harder to improve upon those results.
All right, it makes sense. Basically, employee engagement is here to stay. So how can new leaders turn things around?
Well, you know, there are a few different things that agency leaders can do. If it's a new agency leader who is eager to improve their results, I think the first thing that they can do is really take a look at the data at a much deeper level. Get your best analysts on the job and help them translate the data into some meaningful terms. I would supplement that then with some employee focus groups so you can dig a little more deeply beyond the data. And based on that information, put together a plan of action. Pick just one thing. Maybe it's a new recognition program, a new professional development program, whatever your data says, and make sure that you follow through on that commitment over the course of the year. A senior leader will not only need to set the direction, but will need to ensure implementation throughout the year and to encourage course corrections if they're needed.
But Tom, what about the number of agency employees who fill out a survey? Does that make a difference?
It most certainly can. While there are those who would explain away the results based on low response rates, any response rates are going to give you an indicator as to how the employees in your agency are feeling. The higher the response rates, the much better, the much richer the data. And so we've seen agencies take that very seriously. And when the response rates are higher, they get much better data, and they're able to put together much more concrete plans of action.
All right, Tom, you've been with the partnership for a while now. We're close to an administration change, and that means a new cabinet and lots of personnel changes. How will those changes impact this discussion?
Well, you know, we found over the course of the years that the senior leadership results of the survey, of the research that we do, have a disproportionate impact on employee engagement and satisfaction, and they will undoubtedly have an impact in the course of the next year, both as we see people move out of the current administration and new folks move into the administration. The key will be just how those responses are affected. Will we have a new set of leaders who come in who understand from the outset that employee engagement is critical to agency performance, or will it take time for them to understand that this is an important issue and to take action? We don't know yet what those results will be, but we can certainly do our best to try and educate those new incoming leaders as to the importance of people.
I'm guessing morale could be anywhere from high to low. You're not sure about your job. You don't know who your new boss is going to be if they're filled by political patronage. It could be kind of rough for the next 12 months.
It can be very rough, and you know what we found consistently is that leadership matters, and you can actually see a fairly rapid turnaround in results based on senior leadership changes. The Department of Labor, for example, where we've done some work, has experienced phenomenal growth over the course of the last 2 years. In fact, they've had the largest increases of any large federal agency. And it's really as a result of the fact that their senior leadership, all the way down to the first-line supervisors, have taken this issue seriously and are doing their best to communicate with, engage, and recognize their employees.
Tom Fox with the Partnership for Public Service joining us from the new headquarters of the Washington Post. We like the background there, Tom. Hope you do too. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Very much. Thank you, Morris.